when you take on a mission larger than yourself, when you extend yourself to do something positive, you have no idea the reaches of what you have done will go. I am incredibly proud that we have given $250 million in memory and honor of a quarter of the 9/11 victims. We're going to listen to what the families need, and we are going to do everything. Whatever it is, whether it's fighting their way through the bureaucracy, and there was tons of it, whether it was dealing with their personal grief and loss or their finances, we would deal with any problem they had, and the problems were basic. They didn't have death certificates. Even if you had insurance, you couldn't get access to it because it was business as usual other places, but not for us. So we always had to convince people that this was extraordinary. And you had to do things in a way that were different than what you had thought of before. And once we got the families to a place where they were stable, a secondary need of theirs emerged, and that was legacy. How will their loved ones be remembered at the place where they died? I used to tell people that I fight battles that should never even be conversations, because we found ourselves involved in things that you thought would be totally and completely ordinary. And I go into this in An Unbroken Bond in more detail than I can here, but it was unbelievable, the obstacles that were put in our path. And when you spoke to the families, what you discovered was that they knew what they wanted. And they were not in disagreement. They agreed. They wanted a sacred space for 9/11 where their loved ones could be memorialized as individuals and equally. And they wanted a memorial that would tell you a story. They wanted you to know, as the public, what was his name? How old was she? What company did he work for? What floor was she on? So that you would understand what happened here. Basic things, like if you were on the top floors above the impact of the plane, everyone was killed. If there were two people with the same name, if you put the ages, you could tell them apart. That, as Howard said, everyone is equal in death, and every life is precious. So they all should have had affiliations after their names. Have people understand that you can learn something about a 9/11 victim, and you can do something in their name of good, so that you can make 9/11 a day of positive contribution and not something negative and traumatic. A partnership between social and corporate responsibility around a single mission can accomplish great, great things. We made a promise to remember. We made a vow never to forget. I've tried in the brief amount of time that I've talked to you to tell you what that meant to us at Cantor Fitzgerald and at the Cantor Fitzgerald Relief Fund. Learning, teaching, education, being a human being, taking on a mission larger than yourself, engaging in a conversation about the lessons we can learn from 9/11, because 9/11 is just a microcosm of everything else that's going on. Those are things that we can all do to honor a promise to remember and continue an unbroken bond between those we have lost and what we all do going forward. Thank you.